You want to know, like, one of my biggest pet peeves? When official outlets can't spell Grayskull correctly. I know that makes me a huge nerd, but it drives me nuts. Hey, before we get along with today's video, I want to take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Whatnot. Have you ever heard of Whatnot? Well, if this is your first time hearing about it, let me explain what it is. Essentially, it's an app that allows for live streaming auctions. So think about eBay and your favorite live streaming service like Twitch or YouTube and smash those things together, boom, you've got Whatnot. So I actually set up my very first Whatnot stream a month ago, and let me tell you, it was a total blast. I was able to purge some of the things from my own collection and had a lot of fun on my personal live stream show. And guess what? I've got another show coming up soon on Thursday, May 9th at 6 p.m. Central Time. This will be a great opportunity to come over, hang out with me for a couple hours, and maybe pick up some cool stuff from my personal collection. Look, I'm always on here toy hunting, I'm always buying new stuff, so what do I do when I run out of space? Well, I've got to purge some stuff, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So this is your chance to grab some things from my own personal collection, stuff like Ghostbusters, stuff like Thundercats, Marvel, DC, and more, and I'll even be doing a couple of giveaways. So join me on May 9th for my next Whatnot stream. If you're not already signed up for a Whatnot account, you can use my invite link in the video description below, and you'll even receive a free $10 that you can use in my stream or any of the other streams happening on Whatnot. And also bookmark my show so that way you know it's coming. I hope to see you guys there on Whatnot. Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and yeah, it's about that time of year where we're told that there's a He-Man movie coming again. It's literally been happening like once a year for like the last decade or more. So I want to talk about it a little bit, and it's one of those things where, like, I know you guys all want to know what my thoughts are. The reason I know that is because everybody shares the news with me, everybody asks me on socials to give my thoughts, and you know what? I don't always do that, but I feel like this time, let's do that. Let me just sit in front of the camera here on the channel and let's talk about this new movie news. With the Masters of the Universe movie, I've had a hard time like getting excited about this news because, like I said, it pops up once a year and it never goes anywhere. So, you know, I'm not alone in the whole I'll believe it when I see it mentality. I'll believe it when I see a trailer. I believe it when I'm holding a ticket and I'm sitting down in a movie theater. Do we even hold tickets anymore? It's like, it's on our phones now, right? You guys know what I mean. But I will say that this time, with this particular announcement, they announced a theatrical release date. So why don't I go ahead and just read a little bit from the press release that went out today in case you're seeing this news for the first time. This news comes via Variety, and it says the following. The long-awaited live-action Masters of the Universe movie is one step closer to becoming a reality, with Amazon, MGM Studios, and Mattel Films dating the project for worldwide theatrical release on June 5th, 2026. So Travis Knight of Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee is on board to direct the film adaptation of the popular franchise, with Chris Butler writing the screenplay following initial drafts written by David Callahan and Aaron and Adam Nee. So we got a director, we've got screenwriters, we've got an official theatrical release date of June 5th for 2026, so basically 2 years from about this time right now. Listen to this synopsis. Masters of the Universe introduces a 10-year-old Prince Adam who crashed to Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home on Eternia. After tracking it down almost 2 decades later, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. All right. Let's dissect, shall we? So first of all, I want to say that this synopsis sounds exactly the same as the movie that they've been trying to make for the last 5-10 years. I feel like this synopsis sounds very familiar to what we've been seeing with this movie bouncing around from like studio to Netflix. And, you know, I feel like this is still the same movie that they're trying to make. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is that whole part that says that Prince Adam, a 10-year-old Prince Adam, crash lands on Earth, finds the power sword 20 years later to return home. It's a fish out of water story. Why is it always a fish out of water story with Hollywood? I don't understand why this is always the go-to. Hashtag keep He-Man off Earth. I mean, look, this is the deal. The world of Masters of the Universe is this fantastical realm, right? The planet Eternia, filled to the brim with wild creatures, colorful characters, science, technology, and magic, all warped together to make this really cool, very different looking fantasy world. Something that sounds perfect for a movie or a cartoon or a book or something that is not based in reality. We do not want to see Earth. We live on Earth. Earth is boring. We want the excitement of a strange world with all of these crazy characters. And I don't know, just the idea of a young Adam growing up on Earth already fills my head with wacky comedy scenes that we're going to see of him adapting to being human and fitting in with normal teenagers and all this stuff. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't think that's what we want, is it? Maybe I'm totally off base here. And look, the last thing that I want is to be negative. And the real last thing that I want is to be a gatekeeper of any kind. Because I've always said that in order for this franchise to live on, we've got to get younger audiences interested. Kids have to care about He-Man. Because if kids don't care about He-Man, then He-Man dies when we die. It dies with us. So I'm never against the idea of like making something that's attractive to the younger generation. Maybe it's not for me, whatever. I don't know. There's a couple different scenarios that I see in my head. Obviously, the best case scenario, like the dream scenario, would be that it's a great movie and the fandom loves it and we're all happy. Yay, high fives, awesome He-Man movie, woo! But here's a more real world good example. Here's a more real world kind of outcome that I could see happening. The movie isn't great. The fan base doesn't like it, but audiences like it. And it makes a whole bunch of money. And as a result, the brand thrives. And that leads to us getting cool stuff that the fan base will like. I call this the Transformers effect. I think, you know, history has shown us that like the fan bases may not have been thrilled with those live action movies for Transformers, but those movies brought in a ton of money and that resulted in cool things happening. Lots of cool toys, lots of other stuff. So I think that that is obviously something I could live with. I'm going to live no matter what. It doesn't, you know, it's like not the end of the world if a He-Man movie comes out and it's terrible. But here's like worst case scenario. And it's a real fear that I have sometimes. And not in like a, oh my God, the end of the world kind of thing. But just as far as like, you know, what it could mean for the brand itself. If this movie comes out and it's bad and the fan base hates it, but also audiences hate it and it bombs and it doesn't make any money, I'm worried that that means that Hollywood will interpret that as, well, people don't care about He-Man and we'll get blamed and then the brand will die. And then we're stuck with nothing. I call that the G.I. Joe effect. Actually, I stole that. Somebody on Twitter said that. I thought that was actually a really good analogy because of the G.I. Joe films and how long G.I. Joe has struggled to like really come back with good toys and everything, right? And We've had a really great run with Masters of the Universe for several long years now. We've gotten tons and tons of toys, far more than I ever expected. Things are pretty awesome. But I do worry that when something like this happens, if they're going to invest all this money and all this time into hoping they're going to create this box office success that will only make things even bigger and better, and then it fails, that could mean the end. It might. I don't want to be totally doom and gloom, so I apologize for that. I really don't want to be like super negative about this, but let me just end with this. If you guys are making this movie for kids, please do it. Do a great movie that's going to get them excited and happy and interested. And if we get happy and excited and interested along the way, even better. Masters of the Universe is a really amazing world. This is a world, as I stated, that is filled with so many amazing, colorful characters, amazing environments. You've got fun stories that could be told, and stories are key. Use this amazing world, use these incredible characters, and give us a good story. We want to see He-Man fight Skeletor. We want to see Adam transform into He-Man. We want to see Battle-Cat. We want to see Teela and Evil Lyn. We want to see the Sorceress and Man-at-Arms and Beastman and Merman and Extendar and Snoutspout and Clampchamp and all of the weirdos. Because they're fun and they're exciting, and that is what Masters of the Universe is all about. We want to see He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, take on the evil forces of Skeletor. It really seems like a no-brainer. So I'm hoping for the best. All right, sound off. What do you guys think? But hey, be nice. Be nice. We're all fans, we're all passionate. I know we've got our own thoughts and opinions, and that is okay. I also think it's okay to point out some of the negatives of Hollywood's interpretations of the things that we love. We should be critical about this stuff. Just be nice to one another, okay? Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, my friends.